welcome back to Charmaine's Kitchen. I want to say good night one, good night all. If you're visiting my channel for the first time, I want to welcome you to my channel. Tonight I'm going to be making a Bangamary stew, and if you guys come on down, we will cook this together. For today Bangamary stew, I'm using Bangamary Fillet, and this is the brand here, the PSI Mid-Atlantic Seafood. These are Bangamary that came from Guyana. So I'm gonna open it up and let you guys know what it looks like inside. So I have my Bangamary fillet all washed and dried, and I'm gonna start adding some seasoning to this. So I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of salt, and this is because it's a lot of pieces. I cut the whole sides into two because it will be too big for my frying pan. So I want to make sure that I seasoned the fish well, and I'm going to add about a teaspoon freshly ground black pepper. And I really like black pepper on Bangamary. And then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add some green seasoning. So now I'm going to add my green seasoning. And then I'm gonna mix this in well into the fish and make sure that it gets coated with all this seasoning. These are some of the ingredients I'm adding to the stew fish. I have some onions, some green onions. I have some wirrie pepper. I have some cilantro, fine leaf thyme. I have a carrot, and I have one potato that I'm gonna be adding to this fish stew. So I'm gonna cut all these up, and then I'm gonna come back and show you guys how we put this together. Okay guys, so I have my oil warming up here, and here is my seasoned Bangamary. So now I'm gonna start dusting them. I have some flour here. I'm gonna start dusting these in the flour, and then I'm gonna fry them. So in the flour I add a little bit of salt because we don't want it to be in flour only. And I'm just gonna shake these out, all the excess flour, and then put it into my hot oil. And then I'm gonna keep doing that until I'm finished with the frying process. So these are done. We're gonna drain them, and I'm gonna put another set in. So here I have my Bangamary fillet, nice and golden brown. I have all my seasoning. I have some tomato paste. I like to add a hint of Chinese sauce. And for those who are interested in the brand that I'm using, this is the one I usually use in my cooking. I have here a Sazon that I'm gonna add. This is very good for stews. And I have all the rest of my ingredients here cut up. And my one potato, I just grated the potato because the way I'm making this stew, I don't cook it for a long time, and Bangamary is so delicate and soft, you don't want to cook it for a long time after you add it back to the sauce. So I'll show you exactly how I'm preparing this stew. Okay, so I'm gonna start adding my ingredients. First of all, I'm adding my onions. And I'm gonna add half of the green onion now. Just have a little bit of oil in the pan. And I'm gonna add my carrots now because this need a little time to cook. I thinly slice them, but they still need some time. And carrots is optional for this dish. I just like to add as much vegetable as I can in most of my dishes. So I'm gonna cook this up until the onion is nice. Actually, I'm gonna start adding flavors. So I'm gonna add some salt. And I'm going to go in with a teaspoon and a half of salt. And I'm gonna grate some freshly grind black pepper, and this is about a teaspoon. And we want to give this a nice stir. I'm going to add my fine thyme, and then I like to roughly pull the leaf off of the stem. If you have stem in there, that's fine, because they have a lot of flavor too. And then we want to stir this up a little. And I'm going to add some tomato paste or tomato sauce if you have any. So I'm going to go in with 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And if you have fresh tomatoes, you can add some fresh tomatoes in here as well. I do not have any at the moment, so I'm going to leave it out. And I grated my potato, so I'm gonna add it in here now, because this potato is gonna thicken up our gravy a little for the stew. I didn't want to put in big pieces because this is a really quick stew to make. And then I'm gonna add my Sazon. Just 1 packet will do the job. This is great for flavor and color. Look how nice and rich the color is looking already. And I like to add some Chinese 5-spice powder into my stew. And I'm just going to put about a half a teaspoon of Chinese 5-spice powder. A little goes a long way. Just about a half a teaspoon. And this is smelling lovely. So I'm gonna add my water for the stew now, and I have warm water. About 2 cups of hot water. And this starting to cook already. And then I'm gonna add my pepper now to this. I have 2 wirrie pepper. And the rest of my green onions. So I'm gonna cover this and leave it for 2 minutes or so until the potatoes are nice and soft, and then we'll come back and check it out. So I just remember I didn't add any of the Chinese sauce, so I'm just gonna add about a teaspoon. That's it, because it helps to give that rich color. Just about a teaspoon, the rich color in the sauce, and it adds a little bit of flavor too. You can add a pinch of sugar in here if you want, but I'm gonna taste it, and if it tastes fine for me, I'm not gonna be adding it. So I'm just gonna cover this down a little and then come back to add the fish. Okay, so we're gonna check our stew gravy to see how it's doing. And I like the way it's looking. My vegetables look like they're cooked, and let's see here, the potatoes, yes. So the reason why I grated the potatoes is because this stew doesn't take too long. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna add a little pinch of sugar to balance the acidity of the tomato paste. Just a little pinch. And then I'm gonna mix that in. And I'm gonna turn the stove off, because the Bangamary is so tender. We don't want it to break up and fall apart. And then I'm just gonna carefully add the fish into here, so it can absorb that nice sauce and gravy. and I'm gonna cover it down and leave it for about 5 minutes, and then it will be ready to serve. I will garnish it with some cilantro, and we are gonna be ready for plating soon. I'm not gonna put all this fish in here because this is a lot. Guys, if you have the Bangamary fillet, the Bangamary with the bone in, it makes a beautiful stew as well. My kids prefer to eat the Bangamary with without the bones, so that's why I'm making the ones with fillet today. But you can make the ones with the bone. For me, the bone in have more flavor, so it's up to you what you like. So I'm just gonna cover this down, and look how beautiful that looks. It looks so delicious already. So here is that beautiful stew Bangamary fillet, and look how nice and rich it is. You can see the Bangamary still in its full form. It's not mashed up, and I'm just garnishing it here now, and I'm gonna dish out my plate and let you guys know how it tastes, but it looks really, really good. So here is my Bangamary stew, and it is richly done with lots of carrots and grated potato and lots of pepper. I have piece right here, and I have piece here. I'm gonna dig in for a mouthful for you guys, but I want to take a piece of the fish, and since it's fillet, I can get a nice big bite here. Yes, Jess. So I'm gonna do my mouthful now. So cheers to all my viewers and subscribers. So warm, so satisfying, and so delicious. Oh my God. The flavor is just coming out from all over. And when it is cold and you're tired, guys, this goes well with roti as well, but all the flavor is just so rich, tied in together. I wish you guys can taste this. So I'm gonna taste another mouthful for you guys, and then I'm gonna have the rest for myself. So delicious. So it goes well with roti, but today I didn't have time to make roti, so I'm having mine with rice. I want to say to you guys, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? I have a lot more exciting recipe coming up. You only have to subscribe to one video. That's it. Until then, stay blessed, stay safe. Bye for now.